first.
Okay.
So hello, everybody. I have a guest on the show. She's going to be listening in on this educational segment we're going to talk about the rental market, interest rates. We're going to do a little comparison of where we were in the spring and where we are now as far as some payment, just a payment example. So got some good information out there. I'm Laura Fournier. I am with Nations Lending, and I hope everybody finds this information really helpful. And just give me one more minute. I'm going to change one thing real quick. I forgot what I was going to text. Anyways. There we go. Okay, so you got my number on the screen. If you text to my cell, 301-674-7716, the word terms, then I'll send you out a little PDF with some mortgage terms on there that will be helpful for you. So I'm going to do my screen share. Thank you, everybody, for putting up my little slowness here, but we're going. Hopefully you can see a little house that says "Why Buy Now?" And I wanted to talk about rent. If you do not own a home, you're probably renting somewhere and you're paying a landlord a good amount of money every single month for your rent. And that rent is money in his pocket. So if you're a renter or you don't own, or even if you're living with your parents or a family member or something, you're either paying your own mortgage or you're paying somebody else's. So when you're paying your own mortgage every month, you make a little deposit to yourself to this account called Equity. And that's like a savings account that you'll realize later, down the road. But the more equity in your house, the more net worth that you have. So owning a home is for building your net worth and maybe creating a legacy for your family. But when you're paying rent, your landlord is in control of your cost for your housing. And we are seeing annual rent increases of 8 to 10% on average across the country. So that's a lot. If it went up 10% and you were paying $1,500, you're going to be paying $1,650 for your next lease, or maybe even more. So that could be a big chunk of your, dollars that you have set aside for your housing expense. But when you own a home, even with rates where they are, that's going to be fixed. You're probably going to get into a 30-year fixed term, and you're going to know your housing costs from here on out. And one thing people don't think about with renting is that it costs money to move. It upsets your family. You have to be living out of boxes. You have to pay the movers or pay somebody to help you move. Things get broken and lost, and there's just a lot of expense that goes with you move regularly. And that's something that most people don't calculate into the cost of their rentals. So I have a little graph here, and it just shows you how much rent has increased, like 2021 and even into 2022. Our rents have gone up faster than any time since they've been showing it. This time of year, it flattens out just a little bit because it's, late in the year. But once again, in the spring, they'll probably start going up again quite a bit. So it's really a great thing to become a home owner. We've seen home prices go up, up, up. And right now, they've probably flattened out a little bit, but we are still expecting probably in a lot of areas 2 to 3% appreciation annually, and that's more dollars in your pocket. So every time you make a deposit or make your payment, you make a deposit to Equity. Also, as the market is appreciating, you're getting more equity in your home that way as well. So those are some benefits of home ownership. So I'm going to stop screen share for one more minute, and I'm going to go into this other screen because I'm going to share with you some figures. So back in the springtime, we saw the market was very robust. Rates were lower then. We were at the beginning of the year, maybe in the 4s, and then they went up into the 5s by springtime. And people had to escalate to buy a home. And escalate means pay more than what the seller was asking. So if the seller was asking, like in our example, $400,000 for the house in the spring to be the contract that was chosen, you might have had to offer them $445,000 for that house. Many people were waiving the appraisal, home inspections. They were getting no help from the seller, and it was very challenging to get that, be the one that was, you know, chosen to receive that contract, getting your contract ratified. So even at 5.5%, the total payment is $3,039. That's the complete payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. The rate in this example was at 5.5, 5.9 is the annual percentage rate. So $3,040 a month, roughly, having to escalate an additional $45,000. Plus you had about that much out of pocket between your down payment, closing costs, and your escrow accounts. You know, people are worried about the market now. Rates have gone up and they're thinking, I don't want to buy because the rates are so high. You know, I don't want to buy in this market because of the interest rates. But look at this. Same $400,000 house. Now you don't have to escalate. In most cases, we're not seeing escalation clauses. You could get that $400,000 house for $400,000. You put your 5% down. Rates are in the low 7s right now. You can see the annual percentage rate. However, look at this. The payment is not that much more. It's $140 more between 5.5 and 7, but that's probably not enough in that price range to stop you from buying. So, and the seller maybe give you 3% seller help. So maybe your out of pocket is a lot less, only like $30,000. You could probably be using a first-time home buyer program where you're getting your down payment. So you could have even less than that out of pocket, way less in some cases. The seller might even want to give you more than the 3%. So maybe we do a buy down your interest rate temporarily or permanently. So there's a lot of options for the seller to help the buyer, and way more opportunity for buyers to get into that house that they want without having to fight through all the multiple contracts. So yes, the rate's up, but you're not going to pay as much. So in the grand scheme of comparing, you're not talking about that much money. Yes, it's a little bit more, but probably not enough to stop you from going ahead and getting in that dream home. If rates come down next year and you own this home, we will happily refinance you, and most of that is not out of pocket. So it's great opportunity to really take advantage of the market and be the one that gets under contract. Hi, Marcellus.
Good day. How are you?
Good. I was just showing this example about comparing, you know, back 6 months ago or so to where we are right now, and showing that, you know, you can get a lot of bang for your buck right now, and the payments aren't that much higher, even though the rates are higher.
Yes, ma'am.
I was excited to show people that talk to your realtor, give me a call. You see my number there on the screen, and we would love to help you get your family into a house, stop renting, start building equity, start building wealth for yourself and your family. be in a place where you know what your housing expense is going to be every month, and shore up that part of your budget, because you'll be fixing that in, and it's just the best way to go. So if I can help you with anything, give me a call. Laura Fournier, Nations Lending. And I hope this was helpful to you. I'll be posting it out on YouTube and Facebook. And if you would like it, that would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Laura.